What's up, Vankahs? Oh, it's not me. It's not my
not you,
show.
dude.
Sorry.
Hello, Wankers.
Okay.
You always want to be the center point, you know. It's me. Hello, Wankers. How are you doing, Wankers? Long time no see, Wankers.
What's up?
Yes,
How's everybody doing?
What's up, Vankas? We're back, baby. Season 2 of Vankah Hours, brought to you by BetMGM, is here. We've got Guenther across the planet in Australia. He's doing big things. He's promoting the book. You can see right there. Look at that mug, dude. Look at that mug. We've got an amazing episode for you today. We've got so much to cover. We're covering the news. We're covering FIA drama. We're covering Max Verstappen, George Russell to Cadillac, all the rumors there. We're going to be covering testing and, of course, Guenther's predictions for 2025, which before we started this, he said we're going to be easy. So he's already coming in with he knows what's going to happen. So why don't you just sit down, shut up, and listen to the man, because he knows more than you do. He's been in this game a lot longer than anyone here, both Matt and I and anyone watching or listening to this show. So sit down, and school is in session. Vankah Hours is here, baby.
Yeah.
Guenther, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Long time since the last show.
Yeah,
That's
well,
right.
For us, it's been a long time. You've been on a bunch of podcasts over the break, but where the hell are you right now? You look like you're in the second-class cabin of the Titanic with all these wood panels. Where the fuck are you?
I am in Sydney in a very nice hotel. They gave me a room to do the show with you guys because otherwise it's noisy. So it's a very old hotel. It's near the theater. Very good. Never been here before in the center of town.
Very nice, very nice. What was the best thing you did over break? Highlight.
My highlight is over Christmas I was back in Italy, back home where I come from. So doing a little bit of things there, just always have something going on, which I don't tell you what it is. But then obviously I was waiting for a panettone, or how you call it, a panettone. You know what that is, yeah?
What is
that?
A Christmas cake, which you guys sent me. You don't even know what you sent me, Which thanks for that, I was told how you should.
Of course, the
panettone.
Panettone,
yeah, exactly. Sorry about my pronunciation. It's called panettone, but anyway, I forgive you. I forgive you guys.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny, for following our explicit orders and getting him getting him a thing. I don't know what it is.
Panettone, yeah.
What did you get Greta for Christmas? What was Greta's gift?
Well, I don't remember, Brian.
You don't remember?
Just 2 months ago. I don't remember what.
You don't remember?
No.
Must have not been something that's really...
It's like how we got you a panettone.
No, the only thing I remember that I didn't get anything from you guys because the panettone never came in the mail, So, I spent more time chasing the panettone. It would have been a lot cheaper to buy my own one, So, anyway,
Blame the Italian postals. I blame the Italian postals.
I think you never send it, you cheap bastards, So...
All right, well, that's how you've been doing, but there's been so much going on in the Formula One world since we've last done an episode. I think the biggest news that came out over the summer that we want to chat with you about is this new rule, this cursing ban sent in by the FIA. There's been hints at it. Max obviously had his moment this year. But now there's going to be potential on-track implications. What are your thoughts on the cursing ban sent forth by the FIA?
It's, how should I say? I think it could have been managed a lot better in a different way because, these guys, we all know they go fast because faster they go, better they are. But it's emotions, you get into emotion. And I'm against cursing for the sake of cursing, but sometimes emotions are good. Who is going to watch F1 if there are no emotions? Then we go, machine racing. It's like, so I think it's part of it. I'm not saying that they should continuously curse, or swear or whatever you want to call it, but there is a point where you say you need to leave some life in the sport. If you try to get out of it, and then the commentary was, somebody said, yeah, but if children hear this, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of 5-year-old children which don't know the F word. So, I mean, we should not try to teach it to them, but
Right.
by what they did, they brought it more to attention of everyone, in my opinion. I think it, and those are the fines. Yeah, you can say if Max Verstappen gets fined $40,000 for using the F word, I mean, it's not okay. Obviously, he's not happy about it because he is 40,000. It's 40,000 for him as well. But he can afford it. But there's a lot of drivers which actually it seems like money has no value anymore, because 40,000, some people, that's their yearly salary, And like the rally driver, there's a rally driver which got fined, I think after Swedish rally, I think it was $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the rally drivers don't make this much money, and the guy, you can really see, because I listen to it, because I need to be careful with the swearing, So I'm trying to get an expert in it, He really doesn't really know that he's saying it. It comes. I think he was tired or whatever, and said that as a comment, and boom, he got fined $10,000. He will not be happy about that.
How do you think Formula One, the organization, because there does seem to be a power struggle a bit. I mean, at the F175 event, they certainly gave Jack Whitehall full, ability to poke fun at the cursing ban. They chatted with Zach Brown about the cursing ban at the event. Do you think that there is maybe a little bit of the power struggle that's happening here between the FIA and Formula One as the organization?
I think that didn't start just now. That's going on since a year or two, It is just like, but I think everybody is trying to find how far to push it. As you say, FOM, obviously Formula One, is going as well, is saying, if you cannot do anything about it because FIA is entitled to regulate the sport, that is what they do. And I think you're at authority on that one, but nobody prohibits you to poking fun of it. That's always so. You have to do it in different ways to get attention for it. That you think it's not right.
But if you were the head of FOM, if you were the head of Liberty Media, and you've built this,
wait a moment. If I would be the head of Liberty Media, I would be stinking rich. So
right. But you obviously would not be rich enough because you'd be doing it. These guys are still doing it, right? They want more money. They're not retired on island. They continue to run this thing, and they brought Drive to Survive to the fore, and they put forward a very foul-mouthed Italian man to help bring about popularity.
Who's that?
Guy named Guenther Steiner. And they realized that, that potty mouths like Guenther Steiner sell tickets. And now here comes the FIA saying no more potty mouths. And wouldn't you be very upset?
Yeah, I think for sure they're not happy. But as I said before, we shouldn't promote swearing, but we should not go completely the other way, if stopping it completely. There is something in between, and if you tell the drivers, they're all grown-ups, I mean, they've got their own opinion. You sit them down and say, hey guys, watch what you say, but treating them like children, I don't think that's right, because what you get is the backlash of it, that everybody gets an opinion, and on shows like F175, they poke fun out of you, which nobody's happy. So, but FIA has nobody else to blame than themselves, in my opinion. So, it's one of these battles which at some stage it will go away, but in the moment it's a hot topic, and the FIA doesn't like it. So, what can you do?
Do you think someone gets a race ban this year from this? No?
I don't think so. I think all the drivers are smart enough that they don't risk that one, because it will do something to them. I mean, nobody will be completely ignorant to pay 40,000 the second time, 200,000, and then a race ban. I mean, they are smart enough not to do that one. So obviously, that on that side, it will help. But will it make the sport better? No. It will do nothing for it,
I guess I'm curious about this back and forth that seems to continue to be happening between Formula One and the FIA. At what point does this, really, is it really about the cursing, or is it really about who is in control of what happens on track, what happens within the organization? Do you see this thing boiling over at some point? Do you see it calming down at some point? Do you where are you what's the temperature on that relationship right now as you see it?
I think there is not a lot of progress being made because this is there since 2 years now, that this back and forward. It started with the 11-team license, I would say, where the FIA said yes without speaking with FOM before, and then a lot of debating was going on afterwards, and it just keeps on going along. And as you say, it seems like a power struggle, who is who, and it's. The thing is, both need each other. The FIA, without Formula One, they will be struggling, even if they own the name, but they cannot put a show on like FOM is doing. But FOM has got a contract which they have to fulfill with the FIA, because FIA is regulating the sport, So it's one of these things. When will it end? I don't know, but it's like there is, I think, the election for the president of the FIA is end of this year. Yeah, it's end of this year.
Nominate somebody.
I nominate you, Matt. How about that?
Okay.
I will be your deputy. I will be your deputy.
But see, I'm a spokesman for BetMGM. Would that be a problem?
I mean, you're the president. You can make the rules, So I mean,
that's right.
Don't go in saying it could be a problem. It will not be a problem. You change the rules. I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Let Johnny Herbert back in. And
anybody,
and let me be the president.
Exactly.
Okay,
Matt for president.
We've seen that the president can kind of do whatever he or she wants within that position. Okay, we're talking about that 11th team, right? So it's official. Cadillac is going to be on the grid next year.
First, I want to ask you something. Do you have any advice for Cadillac as the second American team on the grid, because you were the first? What's your advice to Cadillac?
The only thing I know, it wouldn't be easy, because they just got the go-ahead a few days ago, the official one, and I don't know how far they develop or what they could do, but to make one of these cars in a very short period of time, when you think that nobody is there which made a car to that regulation where you can look at that, if you start an F1 on a complete new regulation, it's not easy. So I think the advice is, what I would do, I wouldn't like to advise them. What I would do is I would try to get as much as possible experienced people into the team, which has done it before. That's the only way it can be done in this short period of time, to be on the grid competitive next year.
And get as many customer parts like you guys did when you entered?
That's always, that's a good shortcut when you start off it, just get as much as something who has done it before, who has worked on this 26 regulation since a while already, so they know which direction to go. They've got something to compare with the current car, because what Cadillac hasn't got, they haven't got a car. So they couldn't go, even if they want to go, you can do this hybrid testing, like some of the teams had the testing with the narrower tires on the old car, let's call it. Cadillac cannot do that. They haven't got a car. So they get no data, nothing.
And what's your dream? I just made you in charge of Cadillac.
Yeah.
I'm the president. I just did it. It happened. What's your driver lineup for Cadillac 2026?
I would take experienced drivers. I would take somebody like Bottas, and maybe take a chance on a second one, a little bit less experience. But I for sure would take one driver, the guy with the most experience I could get and I could afford. But Cadillac has got money with no end, I guess. It's Cadillac.
Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by BetMGM. The season is about to start, and there are a bunch of picks that you can make. Make your 2025 season predictions. Put some money on it with BetMGM, and come see what's new at BetMGM. You can score bigger when you win with boost tokens, odd boost tokens, and more. Even if your bet doesn't hit, we've got you covered with no sweat tokens. Sign up with BetMGM today, and you'll have access to countless betting options, including new look same-game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Take advantage of these offerings and be sure to use the bonus code DADDY when signing up to receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Baby, I'm putting my money on Lando Norris to win this championship, baby. And if you got Lewis Hamilton, whoever you think is going to win the championship, you can make that bet right now on BetMGM. Go over there and use the bonus code DADDY when signing up, because they'll know that we sent you, and you can receive, again, up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and over. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Indiana. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code DADDY and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. So it seems like the rumors are that it might be Herta, who's been impressing over in IndyCar, who's had some experience in a Formula One car. There was, rumors about him coming back, getting into Formula One a couple years ago. And now there's rumors that maybe it's going to be George Russell. I'd also heard earlier rumors about Checo Perez coming into that seat. Do you have thoughts on those guys? Any rumblings on who, if it came down to George or Checo, who it might be?
I don't think that George will go to Cadillac. Why would he? I mean, he's in one of the best teams in Formula One.
Well, this comes from a report. This comes from a report from Dutch pundit Jack Ploy, who said that if the rumors are to be believed about Max going to Mercedes, then I think they're going to be keeping Kimi because they've put so many eggs into the Kimi basket. Toto seems to be so enamored with Kimi, which would leave George out of a seat. So he would have to find some place to go.
Yeah, Toto steps on Kimi, but Kimi, I think Kimi needs to prove that he is to stay in F1. I mean, as much as Toto has put investment, as much as people say he's very good, he still needs to prove it. And I do not think that Mercedes would say, we keep Kimi at all cost without having even done one race. So I do not think that George has to fear a lot there. I think George has quite a stable contract. And George and I think George would find a team where he doesn't take a risk of being a new team, because he's good, so he has done it a long time. I don't think he would take the risk to go to Cadillac. On the Herta thing, I would say in the moment, Colton Herta hasn't got a super license. He still needs to get that one. He needs to have a good season in IndyCar to get enough points to get a super license for next year. And I think the safest bet for me would be Bottas. Valtteri Bottas, he's a fast driver, won races, in the moment is a reserve driver, drove last year for Sauber, and is still young enough and fit enough to go there. And obviously, Checo is as well a candidate, but obviously, Checo hasn't done so well last year, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. But Checo and Bottas, I think they are I would look at them to get one seat at least. And as I said, if Colton gets the super license points this year, I think it would be a good thing to get him in. Obviously, they need to test him to see if he wants to do it, how good he is. But obviously, he won in IndyCar, so he must be good.
But there are guys who win more in IndyCar. What is this infatuation with Colton Herta? I've been hearing about his potential for years, but he's.
Then there's a guy like Palou who's won.
There's a guy like
the
Palou.
last 4.
Right.
But Palou is not American. We are talking about American driver, to have a good American driver.
But what about Newgarden?
I think Joseph is getting a little bit too old to move to F1. It takes some time to adapt. And Joseph is for sure a good driver, but I think that he hasn't got the time to adapt because you need to be, it's not only driving a car, it's getting involved in the whole, in the team, adapting to it, knowing the politics, knowing the technology, knowing what to do and what not to do. And I think Joseph is so well established in IndyCar, so why would he take that risk to go to F1? And then being kicked out of it after 2 years because he doesn't perform. So I think his career will be in the States, while Colton is very young. And I think he's a good talent. But as you say, there's other people he got beaten by. But in any motorsport category, you need to be in the right team at the right time. and maybe Joseph was in a better team, and Colton was only in IndyCar in one team. He never changed teams. So, but again, the only way that he can prove that he is good enough for Formula One is go and do it. As you say, stop the talking, start the walking, and then we see how good you are.
Okay, this rumor about George came from a Dutch pundit, Jack Ploy. What do we make of this? A Dutch pundit, Dutch reporter talking about Max. The implication is that Max will be at Mercedes. Obviously, there were rumblings about that in the past year. There are rumors about him going to Aston Martin, that Aston Martin's ready to pay him $1 billion. One big fat Billy. There are rumors there. What do you make of a guy from the Dutch media predicting that going forward? Is that last year you were saying that Verstappen to Mercedes was going to happen in the future? Do you still believe that?
Yeah, it can happen easily. And Jack Ploy, to go back to Jack Ploy, he's a good friend of mine, and he's very close to the Verstappen family since a long time. Not only since Max is successful in Formula One. It's the good old Dutch racing gang. He's part of it, of Jos and all that stuff. He's, Jack is in my age, not like you guys, not some young guys coming into Formula One wanting to know everything. We actually know everything, Jack and me. So obviously, I need to speak with Jack. How reliable is what he what he says? Or is it just bullshit? So we don't know yet, but. Obviously, he must have something to say that, but I don't really know what is. And I don't think that Mercedes can say that they could pay Max $1 billion. I do not think that would go down well with Mercedes. So maybe Aston Martin gives him $1 billion, and Max is rethinking where he's going next. And the biggest thing is, Mercedes in the moment, I wouldn't say is super performing. Obviously, they're good, but they're not like they were 3 or 4 years ago when the first talk started, Max going to Mercedes because Mercedes won everything, It's not like, for Max, it's more like, I need to go to the place where I can win again championships. That's what he wants to do. And I don't think he's in a big hurry to go anywhere. And I do not think he will change now this year for 26, not knowing what 26 brings, because it's all new for everyone. It's completely new for everyone. So don't ask me to predict 26.
Why not? Why can't I ask you to pick? Why can't I ask you to pick between Honda, Red Bull, Ferrari, or Mercedes?
Because nobody knows.
Units. I thought you just said you knew everything.
Yeah, I thought you knew everything.
From the past.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Yeah, you see. Yeah.
So do you think that maybe Max, if you're in Max's position, do you wait 2026, see what's happening with Red Bull? Because I have a hard time thinking that any team would say no to Max Verstappen if he wanted to go there.
Yeah, and if you've got the money to pay him for. Not everybody's got the money to pay. Not everybody's as rich as you, Brian, so...
Well, I think the teams that might be wanting him will have some deep pockets. I don't think Haas is coming into 2026 lighting the world on fire, but call me crazy.
I always do.
Okay. Other news that has come out recently, Monaco, is we're going to have a mandatory 2 pit stops in Monaco that they're trying to spice it up. A lot of talk about Monaco being too boring. 2 pit stops. I kind of like it. What do you think, Guenther?
Yeah, I like it. I was pretty outspoken last year about Monaco, the race. It's a procession. It's not a race anymore. The race is happening on Saturday in qualifying. So I think in theory it should help. But then again, Formula One, how it is. One makes the move on the pit stop, the other ones follow, and what is happening, nothing changes, because you can cover, you can try an undercut, but that's the only thing you can do. One can try an undercut, so very difficult to spice it up. For sure it will make it better. It will not make it worse, there's no chance, because it cannot be. So.
All right, Guenther, how would you improve Monaco?
First of all, Monaco, and I spoke with Stefan, and he said it's not possible. They are building so much new ground to put houses on, So why not try to extend the racetrack for 1.5K with where you actually could overtake, leave the old one there, but just make it a little bit longer because it's short anyway, but do it in there. They said it's not possible. I think if you've got money, everything is possible, like for Monte Carlo to do it. It will take a long time. I agree with that one, maybe too long. The other thing is what I was thinking lately, why we don't start to talk again about refueling? Because if you start to refuel again, that would change the game completely. Then you can do whatever you want, Then the strategies come very, very unpredictable what is happening. So we had a long period of no refueling. It came up maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago once more. People were against it because of the cost and everything, the danger. I think the danger, you can avoid it. I mean, pretty easy. Everybody has to have a certain amount of time standing still, a safe time, so nobody's trying to do something stupid, by being too quick. And the cost, I think what F1 costs now, I mean, it's a very easy calculation to make. How much it costs to ship. The cost is in shipping the equipment, nothing else, shipping the refueling equipment. At the time, I was not a big fan of refueling because there was a lot of bad history with it, But now maybe it's again time to do it.
Well, yeah, they do it in IndyCar. It definitely adds an extra variable.
Yeah.
But for me, I find it a little confusing. I find it confusing. I'm like, wait, what? Like, there's too many. It's harder to follow.
You are right there. Like, as you say, with IndyCar, it's very difficult to follow who has to come in, but and so on. But you could put an element in that you tell people just before the race how much fuel they have to tell how much fuel is in. That would make it a lot easier, to think it through properly, to make the next step, not just replicate something what was done in the past, because I'm fully there with you. If you've got tire changes and refueling, at some stage you don't know the guy which is leading, if he needs to come in and I don't know, put the fuel in, where is he going to end up? And then it's much simpler to follow like it is now. I understand that. But if he maybe explains some of the variables to the people at home, it could be actually something very interesting. And in the old days, I don't think the technology was there to keep the spectator, people like you, which don't understand racing because they're new to it. You can explain a lot more than you could 20 years ago,
Right.
I think they could definitely figure out a way for it to be a little bit more digestible as long as the racing on track was better. All right, wait. Let's switch gears. That was the news of the past few months. But testing just finished. Guenther, what are your impressions from testing?
What I got out of testing, my understanding is McLaren is strong. I think McLaren is above the other ones or faster than anybody else. That is pretty clear in my opinion. Whatever they did, it is working. And what I also, I think understood is Sauber is on the other end of the scale, pretty slow. They have not made a lot of progress. So, but when you go testing in the team, like you said now, I hear that, I do that. When you go testing, it's the same. Bullshit analysis as well. You get all this, you get all the technical people there, and you try to make sense of what is happening. And the biggest data point is a race simulation for obvious reason. Everybody starts a race simulation on full fuel, so you know how much fuel is in, because that is always the unknown. How much fuel is in, So once you know that, it's a lot easier to predict. But then again, you have got engine modes. So, yeah, you can look at engine modes, how fast you are on the straight, but there is so many tricks to be played there. And when you are there testing, for example, when you go testing, it is the whole day you just try to find out what other people are doing. You're not trying to find out what you are doing. You try to find out what other people is doing to understand where you are with your car, And obviously, whatever you want to be, you always think it positively for you. That is the understanding. And sometimes the team cannot wait to have a good lap in, so they take fuel out very randomly. It's not us disciplined as you guys think, or us controlled. I mean, so there is a lot of unknown. I mean, what you can get out of it, as I said before, is the top and the bottom. But in between, they know not much more than we know here.
Guenther, what was the best you thought you did in testing? Were you ever like, whoa, are we the third best car?
We never were the third best
What was
car.
the most delusional? What was the most delusional you ever were after testing?
2018 at the test. You know, when you go to a racetrack like Barcelona, when the drivers can give you good feedback where they are. You don't know. You think you know, but when a driver says, for example, the car behaves very well, you know, the understeer is under control, you know that you're on the right way. And then what I forgot to say before is like there is people which are not drivers in F1, which actually, when they watch cars going around, the racetrack, they are pretty good of analyzing if they're good or not. I'm not a specialist in it because I haven't done it a lot, but some of the people, some journalists are very good at it, because that is what they do, what they did the last 30 years. So they go to a specific corner and they actually know if the car is heavy or not, because they can really, they know from knowledge they've got from before how to look at it. So normally, but when you're there again, you get all the data, what the people is doing, and then you go and speak with these so-called experts. But it's all subjective. It's not objective. It's like, I think that car, the understeer level was very good. But obviously, yeah, if he has got 30 kilo less than the other one, sure, it's better,
Right.
So,
which journalists have the best eye?
I would say somebody has got a good eye is Karun Chandhok, the former driver, which is now working for Sky. He's pretty good at it. I would take his comment serious when he says something, how he feels about things.
Yeah,
he's good.
But how do you know? How do you know how much fuel is in the car? You don't.
You don't. But a former driver knows from when they start braking. If it's heavy or not. Obviously, they cannot get down to the 10 kilos, but they know if it is heavy or light. And if something is really light, they see, how the driver attacks the corner. That is what I say. They don't need to think about it. They feel it. What is happening there. That's what it is the breaking point and all that. How he accelerates out of a corner. Because when you are heavy, normally you can actually feel the bogging down if you've got 80 kilos in the car. But obviously they cannot say if it was 20 kilo, 10 kilo or 15 kilos. They cannot get to that detail, but heavier light they can get to.
Vankahs, I have to tell you about this game-changing product that I use every night before a big night out. If I'm going to be drinking, I use this product. It's called pre-alcohol. Let's face it, after a night of drinks, I'm 33 now. I wake up in the morning, I feel like death. But that's until I found pre-alcohol and Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics, pre-alcohol probiotic drink, is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration. All my life I've been told it's dehydration. You just got to drink water. No. I can't drink water through literal toxic byproduct in my gut, baby. That's what's to blame for my rough next day, but the pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. I have used this product many times before, and let me tell you, it works. I tell my friends about it. I say, you're not going to believe this, but after this night where I drank, you know how guys like to calculate your drinks? I had 3 beers, 4 Negronis, 2 shots of tequila. I felt like death the next morning. No, not with Z-Biotics. With pre-alcohol, I can stay on track and not let winter travel and celebration like Valentine's Day coming up, the big game, or Mardi Gras throw me off my course. Go to ZBiotics/Red Flags to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use Red Flags at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed by 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they will refund you your money, no questions asked. But guess what? You won't have to do that because the stuff works. Just remember to head to zbiotics.com/Red Flags and use code Red Flags at checkout for 15% off. Happy drinking. Buying cologne sucks. Walking into a department store, you're getting sprayed in the face, dropping tons of money. It's not what I ever want to do, so I've never really worn cologne. I just use deodorant. But listen, I'm getting older. I want to be a sophisticated gentleman, and if you're going to be a sophisticated gentleman, you need to be wearing cologne. And that's where Guy Fawkes comes into play, started by 2 friends that are changing the fragrance game forever. With their starter kit, you get to try their best sellers first and then choose your favorite later. I got their stuff right here. This is the Vince It is crushed lime, mint, gin, and sunset musk. Let's give it a smell. That smells good. That smells like a man and not a boy. And I'm trying to be a man. Men wear cologne, but you don't want to spend $800,000 to smell like you're a man. And with Guy Fawkes, you don't have to. 90% of women love when a man smells good. That's literally 90%. I think it's probably more like 100% of women or people like when a man smells good. That's science. Throw away that cologne that your ex-girlfriend got you and upgrade your scent game. Each scent is named after the founder's best friends with high-quality natural ingredients that lasts all day long. No wonder they're the fastest-growing men's fragrance brand, maybe of all time. Can't confirm, don't check that, but let me tell you, after smelling that, I think it's true. Since the team at Guy Fawkes loves Almost Friday, we've partnered with them to give you $10 off your first purchase. Go to guyfawkes.com/Friday and use the code FRIDAY for free shipping and $10 off your first purchase right now. Spend less, get more compliments, and smell amazing with Guy Fawkes. All right, we're going to be doing a new segment this year, Steiner Storytime. Guenther, I need your worst testing experience. What was the worst year that you had at F1 testing?
The worst experience in testing is normally when you break down, you not get the laps in. When you get the laps in, you're slow. I mean, it's just like it's bad. I need to think my worst experience what it was. Because I've done so many bad ones. Exactly. I was going to say, I knew that you were coming up with that one. So I don't know which is the worst one because there's so many.
People crashing. I mean, were there times where
the worst one was in 2016, actually, when we debuted in Barcelona. And there is two. 2016 in Barcelona, when we lost the front wing. And I was standing, I think it was lap 3 or 4. You debut as a team. And I'll come to that one afterwards. I watched them going down the straight, and there you see the car lifting in the front. That gets your attention. When the car is up 45 degrees, and you just think, no, I cannot believe this.
It just became a plane.
Yeah, because you lost the front wing. No shit, huh? So,
my God.
If it all goes wrong, you don't have a car left. And, it's not, the cars were off the ground 2 meters. They were not off the ground 2 inches, 2 meters, which is a big difference. But then the next bad one was in 22 with the new regulation came in, the ground effect cars. When you go down the straight and the driver says over 200 Ks, I cannot drive this car because the bouncing, you remember the porpoising.
The porpoising.
Yeah. Mazepin was.
But at least everybody else was porpoising.
Yeah, but at the time we didn't know, Matt. We were the first ones to go testing. It was we were the first ones to go testing, and it was like, what the fuck is happening here?
So when you saw Mercedes porpoising, were you like, oh my God, thank God?
Oh yeah, and then
thank God they're porpoising too.
Yeah, but it's you at the time it was not funny because it's like, how do we fix this? Because and then you start to hear the next day when some other people did their because this was in the shakedown or the filming day when we found out, and then the next people go and they say, yeah, I think the Red Bull was the next car which had it as well, which we heard of, and you think like, whoa, at least we are not the only idiots, at least it's 2 of us, and then slowly everybody joined the club of purposing, so. But it's when you are there on your own and you think you have got purposing. And it's not like, how do you fix purposing? At the time, we didn't know. Obviously, then people go back in, the aerodynamicists go back, see on the data what is happening, and you immediately start to work. But it's like because the driver said, like this, we cannot drive. This is impossible. Over 200 Ks, I'm not going.
Porpoising's in the past.
Yeah.
Now. It's the new era, the end of this regulation. We're going into this year. We need some predictions, Guenther. What do you think's about to happen? Who do you think's winning? Both constructors, drivers, and we want to get into maybe some teammate battles as well. Who do you think is going to get the edge in some of these teammate battles?
You said predictions were going to be easy, so I want you to really put your stake in the ground and fucking own your picks right now.
Who's winning the constructors?
McLaren.
Is it dominant? Is it a dominance? Is it? You think they're going to dominate?
I wouldn't say they dominate, but they will be good, especially in the beginning. You never know if somebody catches up, but I think after testing it, after what I saw last year, they really know with this regulation to get the best out of the car. So I think they will be the team to beat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is winning the Drivers' Championship?
One of the two McLaren drivers.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, yeah. Predictions are easy if you fucking are vague.
It's not fake. I was.
Which one, Guenther? Which one?
I give them a 50. You asked me my predictions are 50-50,
50-50,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
That's how two people for one
So
prize
what are
works.
you guys thinking? I mean, turn it around, you two clowns. Yeah.
I guess you could put BetMGM money on both of them.
Yeah.
You could hedge your bet. You could put money on both. So you have money. You would put BetMGM money on both
Yes.
Lando and Oscar Piastri.
Yes.
You don't think that Max Verstappen is going to get his way to that 5th championship?
No, I don't think so. It wouldn't be this year. Maybe he gets the 5th championship, but not this year. I think it will be between the two McLaren drivers. And they're very close together. They are very performance-wise. And I think first half of the season will decide who McLaren supports, if they need to support somebody second half of the season. Who is in front will be supported. I think that is their new papaya rule,
So you're basically predicting that Oscar makes a jump and that it's going to be close.
Yeah. I don't think he needs to make a jump. I mean, he beat Lando last year. Well, I think Oscar now this year has got the chance to fight straight from the beginning, and he will roll his sleeves up, and try to get it done in the first part of the season to show that he's the guy McLaren should support to win the championship. That's what I think will happen.
Guenther, it sounds like you actually pick Oscar.
I wouldn't say I pick, but to beat Lando it's not easy because he's good, And I don't know how he comes out because last year where he was a little bit disappointing is when he was fighting for victories. How much has he? He said himself, I need to get my elbows out. He said it himself. Will he get his elbow out?
Yeah.
Elbows out.
Mm. What do you think? Is there a date? If you're in Zach Brown's shoes, is there a race that specifically by this point we're cutting you guys off? We're gonna put our support behind one of you. Is it halfway through the season? Is there a now if they're neck and neck, if they're truly equal, but if it like last year, what happened was Lando was ahead, but Oscar was technically still in it, so they kind of were flat-footed on making that decision. What do you think they will change going into this year?
I think they will change that if somebody can challenge them, if another driver can challenge the World Championship, the Driver World Championship, they will take a pick. I mean, I'm pretty sure about that one. And I think that pick will come after the summer break. Whoever is in front is pretty simple. You are now, if somebody's closed, if they are just fighting between them, I think McLaren let them fight to the end.
Right.
I mean, they win anyway, so who cares?
Do you think there's a chance that happens? Do you think there's a chance that happens with McLaren? Everyone's predicting the season to be so close. Do you think there's a chance that McLaren's actually just like that they're finishing 1-2 every race?
No, I don't think they're finishing 1-2 every race because the other teams, as you say, they are very close and there will be mistakes. There will be battles between the two McLarens, I'm sure about that. So somebody will try to take advantage of it. And some of the teams, or one or two of the teams, will get better during the season and catch them. I'm just saying what I saw on the test, they were a little bit ahead, but the other ones are not far off,
So who's going to be in the second? Who's going to be nipping at the heels?
Ferrari. I expected actually Ferrari at the test to be a little bit stronger. I thought they will be. I was thinking it will be McLaren, Ferrari, and then Mercedes and Red Bull. But it looks like it's McLaren, and then Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari are in that group in a very, very small window.
Okay, beyond teams, beyond those cars, let's talk about those driver pairings. Those driver battles. Big talk about Ferrari this year. Obviously, there's a huge spotlight on them. Who do you think? Do you think Lewis can overtake Charles this year, or do you think Charles has got it?
I think it will be difficult for Lewis to overtake Charles because Charles, obviously, he's at Ferrari now a long time. He knows the team, he knows the culture, everything. Lewis is a good racer, and what I think it's for Charles, this is like, first of all, he can learn from Lewis. Because Lewis is a good race car driver, he can learn. because Charles is very quick, but still sometimes makes mistake. While Lewis makes very few mistakes, he can learn that one from him. And for sure, Charles wants to prove something. And what Charles has got on his side, he's the guy to be there even in 10 years. He's so young. While with Lewis, we know he can. I don't think he will be there in 10 years at Ferrari, because by then he will be 50. And I don't think he can drive an F1 car at 50, as much as Lewis thinks age doesn't play a role in it. But age catches up with everyone. But as a pairing, they are very strong. But I wouldn't give one the favorite in there. If I would give a favorite in there between the two of them, I would say Charles will be better the first season for sure, and then see where Lewis goes.
Guenther, how excited as an Italian are you for this Ferrari team? Are you just buzzing right now?
No, I'm not buzzing. I'm buzzing because I'm here with you guys, That is why I'm buzzing.
That's right.
It's right. You forgot that one, So Ferrari is secondary to you guys. But no, I think it's very good what is happening in the moment. But you know how Ferrari is, if you win for them, you become a legend in Italy.
Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by True Classic. In every guy's wardrobe, you need clothing that are going to look right, make you feel your best, and that aren't going to break the bank. And that is where True Classic comes into play. They make clothing that fits tailored. Look, I'm wearing this shirt right now. This is a True Classic plain t-shirt, and I'm feeling great in it. It's hugging me in all the right spots because that's how True Classic designs their clothing. Look at that. Look at that. These arms don't look so good in other t-shirts, but with True Classic, they do. And normally when you get clothing that fits like this, that really feels tailored, it's going to cost you $1 million American dollars. Not with True Classic. What they make is affordable. It's stuff that you can wear to the gym or on a night out. It's what you need in your wardrobe. And spring is here. So whether you're bundling up for the cold or getting ready for the spring, level up your style with clothes that actually fit right. Just go to the exclusive link at trueclassic.com/Vankah to save. That's trueclassic.com/Vankah, Vankah, and shop now to elevate your wardrobe today. Okay, so you're giving the edge to Charles Leclerc. What about Mercedes? We were talking about Kimi earlier. Are you buying the Kimi hype? Do you think that he comes in in a Lewis Hamilton 2007 type style?
No, I'm not buying the hype. What I would say, Red Bull and Mercedes have got to their disadvantage to the other two is the driver pairing. And I'm not saying they're bad drivers. I'm just saying they're rookies, like Liam Lawson. He's not a real rookie, he's half a rookie, call him that one. But he never, he still has to prove everything. And Kimi Antonelli, as good as he will be, to go in there and win a world championship is pretty difficult, And again, George is no fool. So we need to give Kimi Antonelli a year at least to get up to speed in Formula One. The guy is 18 years old, So for sure, as a pairing, Mercedes and Red Bull are not in the league like Ferrari and McLaren.
Okay, who's the rookie of the year then?
I think Ollie Behrman will be the guy because. And I'm not saying it because I know him. I'm saying it what he did. If you look the few races he did last year, he always came in, was always imperfect. Because when he came in with Ferrari to do his first race, everybody said, a lot of people said, not everybody, oh, it's in a Ferrari. It's easy to, what did he finish, 6th or 7th? It's easy to do that. Mm-hmm. But then he came with the Haas. And, he was fighting for points. He didn't make big mistakes, so he was very good. He's very well prepared. And that goes back. I mean, he has been at Ferrari now a long time. Did a lot of testing. He knows his way around it. So I think he will be the guy which comes out of the rookies as wherever he is, he will be strongest showing.
Okay, Ollie Behrman. There's talk after testing that Alpine and Williams are kind of in this middle ground, that they're going to be fighting for 5th place. Do you buy that? Do you think that Williams and Alpine have made a step?
I think for sure Alpine has made a big step. I think I spoke with some people out there and they could see that is got. I don't know about the Williams. I mean, the performance came, in my opinion, too early in the testing. They were too eager, I think, a little bit to go light because nobody was out there light. And when they showed up, when Carlos had that time, when he was at top of the ranking. One day it was like, yeah, why would you do that? The first day or something like this. So maybe they were a little bit more pushing to go light at the testing. So I don't really know where Williams is in the moment. I think Alpine for me, it's the strongest contender to be fifth. And I think Williams, Visa Cash App, Haas, and we are missing one.
Aston
Martin.
Yeah,
no, the three which I just said, they are about equal in my opinion. And because the Williams, I don't know enough about it. The Aston Martin struggled a little bit as well. I don't think they are in that group. And then obviously I've got Sauber behind.
But do you think that? Are you implying that Williams was going for a bit of a glory run there?
It looks like, yeah. And, I'm not saying glory run to show something, but maybe they wanted to test the car on low fuel, But I don't think it was, when they had this good time, it was comparable with the program the other teams were running.
Guenther, have you ever decided, did you ever tell Grosjean or K-Mag, we're going to put like a few pipettes worth of fuel in your car, and you're going to fucking light up the timesheets, and I'm going to go secure the Chipotle deal?
No, I never did it for
happen?
that. What it is, when you're a racer, you always want to know what is possible. But then you actually said, that would be cool to go out there and do a good lap. And then you realize, actually not going to do it. Because afterwards, if in Melbourne this week, it's all mixed up. You really look an idiot because nobody forgets what you did, So trying to fool the people as normally. So I think it's, and I'm not saying that Williams tried to fool people or make a glory run, because everybody sees through. In the good old days, that happened quite a lot, that people went out there and tried to do a glory run to get a sponsor on board, like you said. But these days you cannot do that, because that is like fraud almost, So it's like, because you always have to face reality afterwards in Melbourne, because as much as as good as you would look in Bahrain, and as you look the biggest idiot in Melbourne.
But I want to get into Melbourne a little bit, because people have said, well, we got to wait till Melbourne, but even Melbourne is not a typical track. I mean, Haas has done great at Melbourne. That's how weird a track it is.
Hey. Just easy here, easy, buddy.
But you guys have run great there sometimes. So my question is I guess what are we expecting? Like, do we even have to reserve our judgment in Melbourne?
No, you get put it this way: you get 90% of the performance ranking in Melbourne. As you say, you get always wiser with a little bit going on. Some people will get Melbourne wrong with the setup or something, and will learn out of it and do better. But 90%, after Melbourne. After Saturday in Melbourne, we know roughly 90% where the season will be, the ranking.
Okay, who's winning in Melbourne, Guenther?
McLaren.
Which one?
Let's say Oscar Piastri, the Australian.
Yes, home race.
Exactly.
He's going to win the home race.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, one more prediction, because people are itching for Rockstar and Wanker of the week. Who do you think is going to be the Rockstar and Wanker of the year, Guenther? Predictions for Rockstar and Wanker of the year.
As I said before, I think Rockstar will be McLaren.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that one coming. Who do you think's going to be Wanker?
I think Sauber. I didn't see them well. I would be. I didn't speak with Mattia after
testing. So, you're calling Mattia's going to be Wanker?
Not personal. I said Sauber. I said Sauber, the team. He's part of it, obviously. Yeah. I didn't. I spoke with him before the testing. I didn't speak with him after testing. I WhatsApped with him, but I hope he doesn't watch the podcast. Otherwise, he doesn't say hello to me anymore in Melbourne. But sometimes you have to face reality. If they are like what they showed in Bahrain, he will not be happy as well,
Okay.
Okay, Guenther, we got some fan questions here. This is from My Name Here 0000. Who is your favorite F1 driver to chat with?
I say Nico Hülkenberg. He's got good sense of humor, knows his stuff. Yeah, Nico.
Okay.
Is he the funniest German you know?
Yes. It's very strange. He got sense of humor. It must be because he comes very close to the border to the Netherlands. That's my analysis, Yeah.
He gets that Dutch
Yeah,
runoff.
exactly. The Dutch runoff. Yeah.
I see. Okay, this is from Anyelic84. What old F1 rule would you like to see reintroduced?
I said it before, refueling, So getting it more spiced up, I'm more done refueling.
I also have one. Can I throw one in there, Guenther?
You can do
I'm going to
anything.
throw one in there. Apparently, I don't know if I can do anything, but I'm glad that you believe in me. Apparently, in the old days, they would put they had a little bin in the car that they would put the tear-offs in. So you wouldn't get tear-offs stuck in the brake ducts and stuff. Why are they letting these drivers throw the tear-offs onto the track? Why don't they force them to? Martin Brundle was talking about how he used to have a little bag that he put them in the car.
I think Martin just wanted to reuse them or sell them to fans, to make some cash out of it, So I don't know about that one, that they did that at some stage. But at some stage it was not allowed.
They used to do that.
Yeah?
It's crazy that someone's race can be ruined because a little film from your visor gets into the brake duct and then all of a sudden it catches on fire. That seems crazy.
Yeah, it's not good, though.
It's not good. Not good.
So
Okay,
Matt
this
wants
is from
to produce
Nick.
again the back for the tear-offs. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Martin Brundle
I
back
like
for the
it.
tear-offs, yeah.
Yes.
Bag for the tear-offs. This is from Nick Cooper 4. What advice do you have for Fred managing both Lewis and Charles?
I don't think Fred needs my advice because Fred knows them both very well. That he could advise me there because both of them raced for his F3 and F2 team in the good old days, and he's very close to them, so he knows exactly how they think, how they think, and that I think was part of why he chose Lewis to come to Ferrari, because he knows the two guys very well, and that's always an advantage when you're a team principal if you know them from when they are children, basically, so, and you help them a lot in their career, so I think he will have a good grip of both of them.
Okay. Lewis is trying to learn Italian.
Good luck with that one.
Do you have any advice for him?
Yeah, study hard. It's not easy, it's not easy when you're 40 years old to learn a language. Matt doesn't believe that.
What are the most important words? What are the most important Italian words that he needs to learn at Ferrari?
Pasta and pizza.
I think you already know. What are the best Italian curse words?
I'm not saying them here. No. You're not allowed to say them, No.
You're not
Why
allowed
not?
to say them?
You get fined by the FIA, if you say them. So.
Yeah, but this isn't under the FIA jurisdiction. Guenther, can I say that I know the only things I know to say in Italian are swear words, because my roommate in college was Italian, and we would play video games, and when I would beat him, he would say, "Che cazzo, Maria stronza della meda puttana marafanguro."
Stop it here. If an Italian listens to this podcast, it's not good, what you quote out.
What did I just say, Guenther? I don't even know.
Yeah, it was it was a lot of swear words in one. But the first one is that one I use most, It's basically, it's like, what the fuck, The first one, yeah.
Okay, I love it. Well, that leads us into... This is our next fan question. This is from IDK Wellup. If you could only use one swear word for the rest of your life, what word would you use?
The obvious one. F-U-C-K.
F-U-C-K.
Yay!
Yes.
Or F-O-K.
Exactly. So to keep it legit.
Guenther, I have a question. Yuki Tsunoda spoke about how English curse words were the best. Do you agree?
Yes. I don't know the Japanese ones, so I have no idea.
They don't really exist. That's why he said there aren't really swear words in Japanese. That's why Yuki was so overjoyed when he learned swear words in English.
That's good. Yeah. No, absolutely. The English ones are the best. The quickest to use. I think the language was made like this. I think it came from Shakespeare.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for episode 1 of Vankah Hours. We're going to be coming to you every Wednesday after a race week, plus extra episodes. Hopefully get some amazing interviews going. We got Guenther's book right there. Don't be a Vankah.
Guenther's good book.
Get it.
Guenther's good book.
If you haven't gotten our merch yet, grab some merch. Go to lifeofsteiner.com and get yourself a t-shirt. That's the best merch in the game. We will see you next week, Vankahs.
Goodbye, Vankahs.
Goodbye, Wankers.
Don't fuck smash, butter. I'm going to fucking Steiner. Don't fuck smash.